Hidden for decades, Einstein's secret diagrams reveal his scientific blueprint for the human soul's energy journey, showing how consciousness travels through dimensions, experiences time dilation after death, and operates as the universe's fifth fundamental force through revolutionary quantum mechanics. Discover Einstein's most forbidden discovery. Subscribe now to unlock the soul's true nature. Albert Einstein's newly discovered sketches reveal a revolutionary theory that human souls possess unique electromagnetic signatures, specific energy, frequencies that remain constant throughout life and potentially beyond physical death. These remarkable drawings, found among his private papers at the Institute for Advanced Study, show detailed diagrams of what Einstein termed consciousness wavelengths, suggesting that individual awareness generates measurable energy patterns as distinctive as fingerprints. Einstein's mathematical annotations indicate his belief that these soul signatures could theoretically be detected, tracked, and even mapped through space and time using advanced electromagnetic sensing equipment. The sketches reveal Einstein's hypothesis that human consciousness operates on specific frequency bands within the electromagnetic spectrum, with each individual soul resonating at a unique combination of wavelengths that remains stable across their entire existence. Einstein's diagrams show these soul signatures as complex waveforms combining multiple frequencies, creating what he called consciousness harmonics that distinguish one individual's awareness from another. His notes suggest that these energy patterns emerge from the quantum mechanical processes underlying neural activity, but extend far beyond the physical boundaries of the brain itself, creating fields of consciousness that permeate the surrounding space. Einstein's theoretical framework draws directly from his understanding of wave-particle duality and electromagnetic field theory. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it, Einstein wrote in the margins of his soul sketches. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. His drawings suggest that consciousness operates according to the same wave principles that govern light and radio waves, with individual souls broadcasting their unique electromagnetic signatures continuously throughout their existence. The practical implications of Einstein's soul energy theory become profound when considering the possibility of consciousness detection and communication. His sketches include detailed calculations showing how these consciousness wavelengths might be measured using sensitive electromagnetic equipment, potentially allowing for the scientific verification of individual soul signatures. Einstein's notes suggest that these energy patterns could persist even after biological death, creating the theoretical possibility of detecting departed consciousness through their persistent electromagnetic emissions. This would represent a revolutionary breakthrough in understanding the relationship between consciousness and energy, providing scientific evidence for the survival of individual awareness beyond physical death. Perhaps most remarkably, Einstein's soul signature theory offers a potential explanation for phenomena like telepathy, intuition, and spiritual connection between individuals. His diagrams show how consciousness wavelengths from different souls might interfere with each other, creating resonance patterns that could facilitate direct mind-to-mind communication when individuals achieve sufficient frequency alignment. The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion, Einstein observed, and his soul energy sketches suggest that consciousness signatures might transcend linear time, allowing communication across temporal boundaries as well as spatial distances. Einstein's most startling sketches reveal his theoretical framework for how human souls utilize quantum tunneling principles to transcend dimensional boundaries, a phenomenon that could explain near-death experiences, astral projection, and the soul's journey after death. These remarkable diagrams show consciousness navigating through what Einstein termed dimensional barriers, using the same quantum mechanical principles that allow subatomic particles to pass through energy barriers that should theoretically be impenetrable. His calculations suggest that human awareness, when freed from biological constraints, operates according to quantum laws that permit instantaneous travel across cosmic distances and between different planes of existence. Einstein's quantum tunneling sketches illustrate consciousness as a wave function that can penetrate dimensional boundaries through probability distributions rather than classical physical movement. His diagrams show the soul's energy signature creating quantum probability clouds that extend across multiple dimensional states simultaneously, allowing consciousness to exist in what he called superposition states, where awareness can be present in several dimensions at once until observation or intention collapses the wave function into a specific dimensional location. God does not play dice with the universe, Einstein famously declared. Yet his soul-tunneling theory suggests that consciousness might indeed operate through quantum probability mechanics that transcend deterministic physical laws. The mathematical foundations of Einstein's dimensional tunneling theory draw from his understanding of space-time curvature and quantum field fluctuations. His sketches show consciousness creating what he termed soul wormholes, quantum tunnels, through the fabric of space-time that allow instantaneous travel between distant locations or different dimensional planes. Einstein's calculations indicate that these consciousness tunnels form when the soul's energy signature achieves sufficient coherence to create localized distortions in space-time geometry, essentially allowing awareness to take shortcuts through higher dimensional space that bypass the normal limitations of three-dimensional movement. Einstein's diagrams reveal his belief that quantum tunneling explains how consciousness can transcend the apparent boundaries of physical death. His sketches show the soul's energy pattern, maintaining coherence while tunneling through what he called the dimensional membrane that separates physical existence from other planes of reality. The mathematical annotations suggest that death represents not the termination of consciousness, but rather a quantum tunneling event where awareness transitions from biological embodiment to pure energy, states that can navigate freely between dimensions. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, Einstein noted in his tunneling sketches. Consciousness simply changes its dimensional address. Perhaps most fascinating, Einstein's soul-tunneling theory provides a scientific framework for understanding spiritual phenomena that have mystified humanity throughout history. His diagrams show how consciousness might tunnel between different time periods, explaining prophetic visions and communication with departed souls who exist in non-linear temporal states. The sketches suggest that advanced spiritual practitioners might learn to consciously control their quantum tunneling abilities, allowing their awareness to explore different dimensions while maintaining connection to their physical bodies. Einstein's notes indicate that these tunneling experiences would feel completely real to consciousness because they involve actual quantum mechanical travel rather than mere hallucination or imagination. The practical implications of Einstein's quantum soul tunneling extend to revolutionary possibilities for understanding human potential and consciousness research. His calculations suggest that with sufficient understanding of quantum consciousness mechanics, it might be possible to develop technologies that enhance or facilitate dimensional tunneling experiences, potentially allowing scientific exploration of non-physical realms and communication with consciousness that has transitioned beyond biological existence. Einstein's final note on this topic captures the profound implications. The soul is not bound by the classical limitations of space and time. It is a quantum entity capable of traversing the infinite dimensions of cosmic consciousness. Einstein's extraordinary sketches reveal perhaps his most profound insight into the nature of consciousness after death. Detailed calculations showing how departed souls experience time dilation effects similar to those described in his theory of relativity. These remarkable diagrams illustrate Einstein's hypothesis that consciousness, when freed from biological constraints, exists in relativistic states where time flows at dramatically different rates compared to physical reality. His mathematical annotations suggest that what appears as brief moments to deceased consciousness might correspond to years or decades in the physical world, potentially explaining the mysterious nature of near-death experiences and spiritual encounters with departed loved ones. Einstein's relativistic consciousness sketches draw directly from his famous twin paradox thought experiment, but applied to the soul's journey after death. His diagrams show consciousness traveling at near-light speeds through what he termed spiritual space-time, creating time dilation effects where departed souls experience their existence as immediate and present while decades pass in the physical realm. Time is an illusion, Einstein observed, and his soul relativity calculations suggest that consciousness operates in temporal reference frames that are completely independent of biological time. His sketches show how a soul might experience centuries of spiritual existence while only minutes pass on Earth, or conversely, how years of earthly time might correspond to mere moments of consciousness time. The mathematical foundations of Einstein's soul time dilation theory reveal his belief that consciousness possesses its own gravitational field that affects the flow of time. His diagrams illustrate how the concentrated energy of individual awareness creates localized space-time curvature, similar to how massive objects bend space and time in general relativity. Einstein's calculations suggest that the soul's energy density determines its temporal reference frame, with highly coherent consciousness experiencing more extreme time dilation effects. His notes indicate that departed souls might exist in what he called consciousness time, where their awareness unfolds according to internal spiritual rhythms rather than external physical chronology. Einstein's sketches provide a scientific framework for understanding how communication between physical and spiritual realms might occur across these relativistic time differences. His diagrams show how consciousness signals might travel through curved spacetime, arriving at different moments in physical time depending on the soul's relativistic state. This could explain why spiritual encounters often involve messages from loved ones who died long ago, but appear to have been waiting just moments to communicate. Einstein's calculations suggest that from the departed soul's perspective, death occurred only recently, while from the physical perspective, years or decades have passed. Perhaps most remarkably, Einstein's relativistic soul theory offers an explanation for the life review phenomenon commonly reported in near-death experiences. His sketches show how consciousness approaching death might experience massive time dilation effects where entire lifetimes of memory and experience unfold. In the brief moments before biological death, Einstein's calculations indicate that the soul's acceleration towards spiritual states could create time compression effects where decades of life review occur in seconds of physical time. Past, present, and future are only illusions, Einstein wrote in his soul sketches. Consciousness experiences all of existence simultaneously when freed from biological temporal constraints. The practical implications of Einstein's soul relativity extend to revolutionary possibilities for understanding grief, spiritual communication, and consciousness survival. His diagrams suggest that departed loved ones might exist in temporal, states where they experience continued connection and communication with the living, even though physical time has passed. Einstein's final observation on this topic captures the profound comfort his theory might provide. Death is not the end of consciousness, but its liberation into timeless existence, where love transcends the illusion of temporal separation. In the relativistic realm of the soul, all moments of connection exist eternally in the present. Einstein's most revolutionary sketches reveal his attempt to incorporate soul energy into his unified field equations, suggesting that consciousness represents a fifth fundamental force alongside gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear forces. These extraordinary diagrams show mathematical relationships between spiritual energy and physical forces, proposing that the soul follows the same conservation laws that govern all energy in the universe. Einstein's calculations indicate that consciousness operates through field equations, similar to those describing gravitational and electromagnetic phenomena, potentially making spiritual energy as scientifically measurable and predictable as any other force in physics. The mathematical framework of Einstein's unified soul theory builds upon his lifelong quest to find a single equation that would describe all fundamental forces and phenomena in the universe. His sketches show consciousness fields interacting with gravitational and electromagnetic fields through what he termed spiritual field coupling constants, mathematical relationships that determine how soul energy influences and is influenced by other fundamental forces. Einstein's diagram suggests that consciousness creates its own curvature in space-time, similar to how mass curves space in general relativity, but operating through mechanisms that transcend purely physical interactions. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible, Einstein wrote in his unified soul notes, suggesting that consciousness itself might be the key to understanding why the universe exhibits mathematical order. Einstein's unified field equations for consciousness reveal his belief that spiritual energy operates according to conservation principles identical to those governing physical energy. His calculations show that soul energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transformed from one state to another through interactions with other fundamental forces. The sketches illustrate how consciousness might convert between different energy forms: electrical energy in neural networks, electromagnetic radiation in thought transmission, gravitational potential energy in spiritual elevation, and pure spiritual energy in states of transcendent awareness. Einstein's mathematical annotations suggest that the total amount of consciousness energy in the universe remains constant, with individual souls representing temporary focal points of this eternal spiritual field. Perhaps most remarkably, Einstein's unified soul theory proposes specific mathematical relationships that could make spiritual phenomena scientifically predictable and measurable. His diagrams show field equations that describe how consciousness energy propagates through space, how spiritual forces interact with physical matter, and how soul energy might be detected using advanced electromagnetic sensing equipment. Einstein's calculations suggest that consciousness operates through what he called spiritual coupling constants that determine the strength of interactions between soul energy and other fundamental forces. His notes indicate that these constants might vary between individuals, explaining differences in psychic abilities, spiritual sensitivity, and consciousness survival after death. Einstein's most profound insight emerges from his attempt to solve the unified field equations that include consciousness as a fundamental force. His sketches suggest that when all five forces, gravity, electromagnetism, strong nuclear, weak nuclear, and consciousness, are mathematically unified, the resulting equations describe a universe where spirit and matter represent different expressions of a single, underlying reality. Einstein's calculations indicate that consciousness might be the organizing principle that gives coherence to the other four forces, explaining why the universe exhibits the mathematical elegance and comprehensibility that allows conscious beings to understand cosmic laws. God does not play dice with the universe, Einstein famously declared, and his unified soul theory suggests that consciousness itself might represent the divine intelligence that ensures cosmic order and mathematical beauty. The practical implications of Einstein's unified soul theory extend to revolutionary possibilities for consciousness research and spiritual technology. His diagrams suggest that understanding the mathematical relationships between consciousness and other fundamental forces could lead to technologies for detecting soul energy, enhancing spiritual abilities, and potentially communicating with consciousness that has transcended biological embodiment. Einstein's final equation in these sketches attempts to express the complete unified field, including consciousness, creating what he called the God equation, a mathematical formula that describes how divine intelligence expresses itself through consciousness interacting with all other forces to create the magnificently ordered cosmos that human awareness can comprehend and appreciate. His last annotation captures the profound implications. When consciousness is included in the unified field equations, we discover that the universe is not a machine, but a mind, and we are thoughts within that cosmic consciousness expressing itself through the eternal dance of spiritual and physical energy. Discover Einstein's most forbidden discovery. Subscribe now to unlock the soul's true nature.